Welcome to Audible Sound, where transformation begins in the mind. Today, you'll learn how to see people for who they really are, not who they pretend to be. This audiobook, How to Analyze Anyone Using Dark Psychology, will train you to read hidden emotions, detect manipulation, and uncover motives buried beneath smiles and words. You'll understand how master manipulators control others, and more importantly, how to protect your mind from them. If you're tired of being deceived, taken advantage of, or emotionally drained, stay until the end. What you learn here will change how you see human behavior forever. Subscribe now, and step into the world of psychological awareness, where no mask can fool you again. Chapter 1. Everyone wears a mask. Learn to see through it. Everyone wears a mask. Every single person you meet is performing, consciously or unconsciously, for acceptance, validation, or survival. You do it. I do it. We all do it. The truth is, the world rewards the mask more than the real face. That's why most people never show you who they really are. But here's the key. If you learn to see through the mask, you'll never be manipulated again. You'll stop reacting to words, you'll start reading patterns. Because patterns don't lie. People do. Watch how they move when no one's looking. Notice the tone they use when they don't need something from you. Pay attention to the small contradictions, the smile that doesn't match the eyes, the compliment that feels heavy, the nod that comes too late. These aren't accidents, they're leaks. Tiny leaks of truth slipping through a mask that can't hold forever. Say this with me. Watch the mask, not the mouth. Every time you repeat it, you sharpen your perception. You start hearing what isn't said. You start seeing what isn't shown. The fake friend's kindness suddenly feels transactional. The nice co-worker's tone reveals resentment. The charming stranger's eyes flash with control. You stop falling for the act, because you're no longer focused on what's presented. You're watching what's real. Remember this, you have a choice. You can keep believing the performance, or you can start observing the patterns. You can keep reacting, or you can begin to analyze. That's how you take back power. That's how you stop being played. The world is a stage, but now you're no longer part of the audience. You're the observer, calm, detached, aware. You've learned to see through masks. Now let's go deeper. Because seeing is just the beginning. Chapter 2. The Language of Lies, What People Say versus what they mean. People lie more than they tell the truth. Not always with big stories. Sometimes with tone, with timing, with too many words. That's the giveaway. Liars talk too much. They decorate their stories. They defend what doesn't need defending. Because truth is simple, deception is detailed. Here's the key. Truth stands alone. It doesn't need backup. It doesn't need decoration. But a lie always needs support. Extra explanations, extra emotion, extra words. When someone tries too hard to sound honest, they're not being honest. They're being strategic. So listen differently. Don't get lost in the story. Don't get pulled into their emotions. Listen for hesitation, that pause before they speak. Listen for the filler words. To be honest, trust me, I swear. Those are the shields liars use to make their story sound strong. Truth doesn't defend itself, lies do. You have a choice. You can believe their tone, or you can analyze their pattern. A liar's energy always betrays them. They over-explain when no one asked. They repeat themselves to make the lie feel real. And when you stop reacting, when you just watch, you'll see it. The tension, the inconsistency, the overcompensation. It's not about catching words, it's about catching rhythm. Liars rush, they overperform. Truth flows steady, lies stumble. When you sense that stumble, pause, don't react, just observe. Because that's how control works. Silence exposes deception faster than questions ever will. So stay quiet, stay sharp, watch the way they build their story, because the longer they talk, the more truth leaks out between the cracks. Repeat it again. Truth doesn't defend itself, lies do. You've learned to listen beyond words. Now, it's time to understand emotional control. Chapter 3. Emotional Manipulators, the Masters of Control. Emotional manipulators don't take your power all at once. They take it piece by piece, with guilt, with silence, with twisted words that make you question yourself. They study your empathy, they use your kindness as a weapon. Because manipulation doesn't work on the cold, it works on the caring. Here's how they win. They make you doubt your reality. They make you explain yourself over and over until you forget what the truth even was. That's gaslighting. They'll say, "I never said that," even when you know they did. They'll make you feel crazy for noticing what's obvious. And once you start defending your sanity, they've already taken control. Then comes guilt tripping, the emotional leash. They say, "After everything I've done for you," or "I thought you were different." They weaponize your goodness. Because manipulators know, the moment you need to be seen as good, they can make you feel bad. And that's where control lives. In guilt, in confusion, in your need to explain. Next is the silent punishment, the cold shoulder, the withdrawal of affection. They disappear, not because they're hurt, but because they want you to chase. They use absence to create fear. That's not love, that's control. Remember this truth. Control starts with confusion. Don't explain yourself, observe. The more you talk, the more they twist. The more you explain, the more they distort. Silence protects you, observation frees you. You have a choice. Stop explaining, start watching. Stop proving, start perceiving. When you stay calm, the manipulator loses fuel. When you don't react, their power fades. That's how you reclaim control, not by fighting, but by seeing. You've learned how they use emotion to control others. Now, let's talk about the signals they can't hide. Chapter 4. Body language never lies. Words deceive. Bodies don't. No matter how skilled someone is with language, the truth leaks through their movements. The body always tells the real story, in micro-expressions, in gestures, in silence between words. Because the body reacts before the brain has time to lie. You've seen it before, the smile that doesn't reach the eyes. The handshake that feels weak. The arms crossed too tight. These aren't coincidences, they're confessions. The body speaks when the mouth hides. Let's break it down. Foot direction, one of the purest giveaways. People's feet point where they want to go, not where they pretend to be. If someone's body faces you but their feet face the door, they're not engaged, they're ready to leave. Truth hides in direction, not dialogue. Then there's blink rate. A steady blink means calm. Rapid blinking? Stress, no blinking at all? Someone's over-controlling their image, fighting to appear composed. The body is trying to stay still, but the truth is fighting to get out. Crossed arms and closed posture mean one thing: defense. When someone feels threatened or exposed, their body tries to protect the core, the heart, the stomach, the truth. It's instinct, you can't fake comfort for long. Watch micro-movements, the quick scratch, the sudden swallow, the jaw clench. Each one tells you what their words won't. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to accuse them. You only need to observe. Because observation is control. Reaction is surrender. Remember this and repeat it until it becomes instinct. The body speaks when the mouth hides. Every gesture is a message, every movement is a confession. You've learned to read the physical truth behind the mask. Now, let's uncover the hidden rules of power that shape human behavior. Chapter 5. The Psychology of Power: How People Gain and Keep Control. Power isn't about money. It's not about status or titles or who talks the loudest in the room. Power is psychological before it's physical. The strongest person in the room isn't always the biggest. It's the one who controls the energy. People who understand minds rule those who only understand emotions. Because emotions are unpredictable. But psychology is strategic. Real power is quiet, measured, intentional. It's the calm in chaos. The person who doesn't flinch, doesn't rush, doesn't need to prove. Look around any group, you'll see it. The loud ones crave validation. The quiet ones watch. Dominance isn't in noise, it's in control. Control of tone, control of pace, control of presence. That's where real authority lives. When you speak, power isn't in your words, it's in your rhythm. Slow tone, steady breath, deliberate pauses. You're not rushing to be heard, you're commanding to be understood. That's psychological dominance. Because when you slow down, others adjust to your tempo. They adapt to your energy. That's control. Remember this mantra: energy speaks louder than rank. You don't need a title to project authority. You don't need approval to own a room. You only need to manage your internal state. Calm energy radiates power, chaotic energy invites control. You have a choice: chase attention or command respect. You have a choice: react emotionally or move strategically. Real power isn't about what you say, it's about what you signal. Your presence should say, "I'm not here to prove, I'm here to lead." That's the psychology of power. Now, let's go deeper into motivation, why people do what they do, and what they really want from you. Chapter 6. Reading Hidden Motives, What They Want from You. Nothing people do is random. Every word, every gesture, every favor, it all comes from a motive. Tension, validation, advantage, escape. That's what drives human behavior. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop being blindsided by people's actions. Every question has a purpose. When someone asks, "What have you been up to?" Are they curious or are they comparing? When they say, "I'm just checking in," are they caring or are they collecting information? Learn to hear why they're speaking, not just what they're saying. Because everyone wants something, even silence has a motive. Compliments can be weapons too. "Wow, you're so strong," can mean, "Let me lower your guard." "You're such a good person," can mean, "I know you'll forgive me." When people praise you, ask yourself, what does this compliment allow them to gain? Flattery is often the softest form of control. And favors, that's where motives hide best. When someone offers help, ask, "Why now?" True generosity asks for nothing. Manipulative generosity keeps the scorecard. Remember, the one who gives too fast often expects to take more later. Your power grows when you start thinking like an observer, when you stop reacting to what's visible and start analyzing what's intended. Because human behavior isn't chaos, it's communication. Every action is a signal, every signal has a reason. Repeat this truth until it becomes instinct. Nothing is random, everything is reason. Once you start seeing patterns, manipulation loses its disguise. You stop asking, why would they do that? You already know. You've learned how to read motives, to see what drives behavior beneath the surface. Now, let's decode the emotions that power those motives. Chapter 7. The Silent Language of Emotion. Emotion is energy. It moves through the body before it moves through words. Every person carries a signature, a unique energy that leaks before they even speak. Frustration, attraction, deceit, desire, fear. All of it leaves a trace if you know where to look. Here's the key. Emotion speaks before expression. The nervous tick, the sudden pause, the shift in tone. These are messages the conscious mind cannot hide. A lie is always preceded by tension. A desire is always accompanied by intensity. A fear is always foreshadowed by hesitation. You learn to feel it first, before words, before excuses, before smiles. Because emotion cannot be fully controlled, only masked. And masks leak. The slight tightening of the jaw, the way shoulders stiffen, the eyes that dart to the side, all signs of the unspoken truth. Real-world example, someone complimenting you while fidgeting, the praise is sincere, or a distraction from guilt. Someone apologizing with a flat tone, genuine regret, or manipulation. Before you hear the words, the energy tells the story. Emotion speaks before expression. You have a choice: ignore it or tune in. Ignore it and you remain blind to motive. Tune in and you gain insight no conversation alone can provide. Practice noticing shifts in tone, pace, and rhythm. Notice how energy rises and falls with intention, with need, with hidden desire. Every interaction is a test. Every moment of observation is a gain of power. Emotion speaks before expression. Repeat it, remember it, internalize it. You've learned to sense the unseen, to feel truth before it's spoken. Now, it's time to identify the predators who exploit these emotions. Chapter 8. Narcissists and Sociopaths, the Predators of Emotion. There's a difference between confidence and control, and narcissists know exactly how to blur that line. They look powerful, they sound charismatic, they act certain. But underneath that confidence is addiction. An addiction to attention, admiration, and control. They don't seek connection, they seek supply. They don't love you, they love your reaction. A narcissist's power comes from emotional feeding. They start with admiration, the hook. They study your weaknesses, your needs, your dreams. They mirror you, reflect you, make you feel seen. It's never real, it's strategy. They know that the fastest way to control someone is to make them feel understood. Then comes manipulation. They twist praise into dependency. They build confusion, the push, the pull, the hot, the cold. You start chasing the version of them that no longer exists. They make you question your worth, your memory, your instincts. You start apologizing just to keep peace. That's not love, that's control. And when the control fades, they discard. They withdraw affection, turn distant, cold, indifferent. You think it's your fault. It's not, it's their pattern. Once the emotional fuel runs dry, they move on to the next source. But they'll circle back, because narcissists always return to test if the door is still open. You must remember, they don't love you, they love your reaction. Your reaction feeds them, your silence starves them. The moment you stop explaining, they lose control. The moment you stop seeking closure, you win. You have a choice, to stay in their cycle or step out of it, to be their fuel or their lesson. Understanding this is your protection, awareness is your weapon. You've learned how predators feed on emotion. Now, let's build the armor that keeps you safe. Chapter 9. Building your psychological shield. Awareness alone isn't enough. Knowing the tactics of manipulators, narcissists, and emotional predators is just the first step. The real power comes when you build a shield, a psychological armor that protects your mind, your energy, and your choices. Because awareness without action is still vulnerability. The first layer of your shield is mental distance. You must learn to separate their behavior from your emotions. Their anger is not your fault. Their praise is not your validation. When you detach, you stop feeding the chaos. Detachment is defense. Calm is control. Next comes emotional neutrality. Stay calm in the face of provocation. Don't react to manipulative words, guilt trips, or silent treatments. Observe, analyze, respond only when necessary, and respond on your terms. Neutrality doesn't mean coldness, it means power. It means you own your energy instead of surrendering it. Silence is your weapon. When someone tries to provoke, withdraw, or manipulate, resist the urge to explain. Every explanation is a door to their control. Every silence is a reclaiming of your power. When you stop reacting, they start revealing themselves. Boundaries are your armor. Say what you will and what you will not tolerate. No excuses, no over-apologies. Boundaries create structure, and structure creates safety. Repeat it again. Detachment is defense, calm is control. Make it your mantra, make it instinct. When you practice it, manipulation loses its power. You are untouchable because you no longer fight on their terms. You've learned to shield your mind. Now, it's time to step beyond defense and master perception itself. Chapter 10. Master perception. Read the world. Don't react to it. This is the final step. You've learned to see through masks, detect lies, sense emotion, and protect yourself from manipulation. Now it's time to go beyond reaction, to master perception. Because perception is power. The clearer your perception, the less the world can control you. Most people live in fog. They react emotionally to every comment, every glance, every slight. They give away power in anger, fear, or desire. You cannot afford that. You must see reality clearly, without distortion, without judgment, without attachment. Live as an observer, not a reactor. Watch patterns unfold, listen beyond words. Notice intentions before they manifest. Control your energy, control your focus, control your influence. When you stop reacting, you start directing. Every interaction becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes a test. Every person you meet reveals a part of the human mind. If you are paying attention, step back, take the emotion out of it. The world loses its power over you when you see it for what it truly is. You can't be manipulated if you understand manipulation. You can't be deceived if you see deception before it happens. Every action, every word, every energy you encounter becomes data, insight to guide your response. You can't be controlled if you understand control. Repeat it, internalize it, live it. Because mastery isn't just about defense, it's about dominance of your own mind. When you control your perception, you control your reality. You act deliberately, you choose your influence, you decide your energy. You've completed the journey from reaction to observation, from victim to master. Take this knowledge, practice it daily, apply it ruthlessly. You can't be controlled if you understand control. And that is the final truth. You now hold the keys to understanding human behavior at its core. You've learned to see through masks, detect manipulation, and stay calm under control. From now on, people will feel your awareness before you even speak. This isn't just knowledge, it's armor. So use it, practice observation over reaction, study silence as deeply as speech. And remember, those who understand dark psychology don't use it to harm, they use it to stay free. If this audiobook opened your eyes, subscribe now and take back the power of perception.